KPIX 5 News.
Right now on KPIX 5 and streaming on CBSN Bay Area, the South Bay social media giant stepping up to get shots in people's arms. How one social network is devoting its weekends to the cause. And supporting the AAPI community. The event's taking place today, and the Bay Area religious leaders sounding off on the recent violence against Asian Americans. Plus, evacuations in Half Moon Bay. The details we have on an overnight fire on Main Street. Good morning. It is Saturday, April 10th. I'm Emily Turner. Let's start with the check of our weather with meteorologist Darren Peck.
Usual drill out there this morning, Emily. It's going to be cloudy near the water. It's going to be windy near the water this afternoon. But other than that, most of us are going to get a little bit of a warm-up today. So those are the main headlines today. Patchy low clouds this morning, specifically right in the immediate bay and at the coast. The gusty winds for anybody who can see the Pacific Ocean. That's where the winds will be the strongest today. And a slight warm-up. If we take a look outside from the top of the Mark Hopkins Hotel or from Treasure Island, you don't see much out there in the way of clouds now. And it's relatively warm for most of us, with the exception of the North Bay. Santa Rosa, it's 36 degrees right now for you. And if we look across the Bay Area for daytime highs, mid-70s today if you are inland. But we're not getting out of the mid-50s at the coast all day. See you with the whole forecast in a few minutes. Emily, back over to you.
New this morning, a fire in a downtown Half Moon Bay building prompted overnight evacuations. Check out this video. It all happened around 2:30 this morning at the San Benito house on Main Street and Mill Street. Firefighters evacuated the upper floors. You could even see smoke coming from the second floor windows. CAL FIRE CZU tells us that 3 people had minor injuries. No one, though, was hospitalized. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. And going live now to Oracle Park, where yesterday, for the first time in well over a year, you could hear the roar of a live crowd echoing through the ballpark. It was exciting. About 9,000 fans were welcomed back to root for the home team. It was the Giants' home opener, and nothing could dampen the excitement of fans.
It's awesome. I'm so happy to be back.
It's a great day. We are very happy. Giants are back. The people are back. Everyone's back to work. It's a great day.
Wonderful to be back. Wonderful to be back in San Francisco, too. Chico.
Maybe more excited than the fans were the businesses up and down the Embarcadero, where it looked every bit like a sunny opening day. It was an afternoon lots of people have been waiting a long time for, even if they didn't have a ticket to the game. Happening today, Facebook will begin a new vaccination effort on Saturdays. The social media giant is aiming to help some underserved South Bay communities. Today, anyone over the age of 18 who lives in East Palo Alto, Bellhaven, or North Fair Oaks is eligible. Free shots are available this afternoon from 12:30 to 4:30 at Facebook's Menlo Park headquarters. No appointment is necessary. Each person just needs to provide a valid photo ID.
We're essentially taking our site and converting it to a vaccination site. And so we're really hoping to continue these, but at the end of the day, it's all dependent on supply.
Facebook is partnering with Ravenswood Family Health Network to provide those free vaccines. And a live look across San Francisco right now. Yesterday wrapped up remote learning for hundreds of students across the city, as the first round of SF Unified students will return to campus on Monday. That includes pre-K through second graders and special education students up to 5th grade. High school sports practices will also return on Monday. Special ed students in middle and high school will return on April 26th.
It will feel different from before the pandemic for many reasons, including health and safety protocols that are now in place. But schools are still places for connection and for interaction.
The district says students will be split into different groups. Some of them will have in-person classes only 2 days a week in order to maintain physical distancing. Happening today, a Unite with Asians rally on the peninsula. People will gather at San Mateo City Hall from 2 to 4 p.m. A group called Asian Uplift is setting up that rally. Organizers want to bring attention to recent hate crimes around the country and locally to provide a space for what they describe as Asian empowerment and healing. Also today, a prayer service in response to anti-Asian attacks. San Francisco Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone will lead the service starting at 3 p.m. in St. Mary's Cathedral on Gough Street. The Archbishop says in a statement, quote, "The rise in violence against Asian people across the country is alarming and horrific to all people of right reason. This is not San Francisco. On the contrary, our city has always been an epicenter of Asian American culture. Let us show our care for one another and for this city we all love. Meantime, in Sacramento, neighbors are taking matters into their own hands when it comes to protecting members of the AAPI community. Reporter Laura Hafele has more.
Safety on Stockton Boulevard is priority number one.
We're neighbors, you know. Everybody has to take care of everybody.
After brutal attacks on the Asian American community all over the country, Sacramento volunteers are stepping up to protect their own.
I'm just here just to be the eyes and ears of the community.
Ernest Maharaj joined Safety on Stockton this week. The group protects Stockton Boulevard between Fruit Ridge and 65th Street.
Where we have a lot of our Asian-owned businesses, a lot of them the mom and pops, but we also have Asian supermarkets in particular.
Frank Louie is the executive director of the Stockton Boulevard Partnership.
On Stockton Boulevard, I will tell you that we have not had a single incident related to hate crime. By being more proactive versus reactive, it's a good thing, right?
Stationed outside of the grocery store, armed with a safety vest, walkie-talkie, and a whistle, his job is to protect them.
If you see anything suspicious, we'll call it in to 911 or to the dispatch. Or we have a patrol that's going by and we keeping an eye on us.
Because I have, elderly parents too. And so if anything happened to them, I'm going to be really upset.
But with Ernest and his partners on the block, families in this community can rest easy.
We should all come together and not hate each other.
That was Laura Hafele reporting. Similar groups to the Safety on Stockton group have been formed here in the Bay Area. Last month, first responders in San Francisco started patrolling the city's Chinatown, handing out cards for a newly launched tip line to help Chinese speakers more easily report crimes. Meantime, in Oakland, police have put out a warning about a recent violent crime spree. Here are the numbers. On Thursday, they investigated 32 robberies within just 24 hours. Some of them were carjackings or people in their cars who were targeted. The suspects, identified as two separate groups of young people, ranging in age from, get this, 11 years old to their early 20s. The advice: be aware of your surroundings and park in well-lit, well-traveled areas. An update now on the noose incident at the University of San Francisco. The school has expelled the student who hung it from his dorm balcony. The noose was discovered on March 30th, hanging on a railing outside one of the residence halls. The university says a student admitted to hanging it and was removed from student housing right away. This morning, the entire town council in Windsor, including the vice mayor, is demanding the mayor's resignation in response to multiple sexual assault allegations. 4 women told the Chronicle that Mayor Dominic Fapoli assaulted them between 2003 and 2019. This morning, his 3 colleagues on the town council also want him to step down. Deborah Fudge released a statement saying, in part, quote, "No one is above the law, and I hope those he has wronged are vindicated and that Dominic is held accountable. He is not a leader, he is a predator, and he must go now." And this from Councilmember Esther Lemus, quote, "I am saddened for the victims and disgusted by the allegations against Dominic Fapoli. In order for our town to continue to function properly, I request the resignation of Dominic Fapoli from his position as mayor immediately." Late last night, North Bay Congressman Mike Thompson and Jared Huffman were the latest to call for his resignation as well. Mayor Fapoli has not yet answered our questions or our requests for comment. Time now is 6:09. Still ahead on KPIX 5 and streaming on CBSN Bay Area.